She was the Basildon princess who helped make breakfast TV cool again in the 90s. Went from ladette to lady in Chicago and became belle of the ball on Strictly Come Dancing. Now she's touring the country in her own one-woman play, reaffirming her position as a leading lady. Please welcome Denise Van Outen. Goodness me, now this looks incredibly, well, not punishing, but nerve-wracking. You're on a stage there on your own. That's it. Nobody else to come on and give you a bit of light relief.
Completely on my own. Yeah, it's quite daunting, and I do get nervous every night. But once I get into it, after the first couple of minutes, because the audience are kind of involved in it with me, because I break the fourth wall and I speak to them in this kind of Shirley Valentine style, I get such a nice warm response because it's funny as soon as it starts that I don't really feel like I'm on my own. I feel like they're my friends and they're part of the journey with me.
But you're not only doing it, I mean, you put the whole thing together, you wrote it. So,
I had the idea in my head about 2 years ago, and my dear friend Terry Ronald helped me write it. We did it together. And we just developed it, and that's scary because when I first stepped out in front of an audience, I had the added pressure of, will people like it? You know, there's some really funny moments in it, laugh-out-loud funny moments, but will people find it funny? All the pressure that you probably
will they laugh in the right places and cry in the right places?
Yeah, and fortunately, they do.
Did it work from the word go, or do you tweak and adjust and now you're sorted? I mean, did you have a few tweaks? Or...
We did have a few tweaks, Alan. Yeah, we did. We tried it out in Leicester before Christmas. I did 3 performances. And there were just slight things that needed changing. Yeah. Because it's very difficult when you're so close to a project. You know, we could understand the story fully, but we wanted to get the feedback from the audience during that tryout, just to see if there was any little bits of detail we missed.
So the general premise of the piece is what? We see, you know, sitting on a bed and getting up and having a sing. So what's it all about, Alfie? OK,
well, it's a play with music, and I loved the movie Shirley Valentine when I was growing up, and I loved how it reached out to a female audience, and it was all about relationship and being the housewife, and obviously Shirley, it's very different to women of my generation now. I mean, at that time, women were very much sort of stay-at-home housewives. With my character that I wanted to create, I wanted her to be a businesswoman and someone who's really made her career the main focus and perhaps put everything else a little bit on the back burner in her life, like her relationship. And she's on a business trip. It's all set in a hotel room, so the set doesn't change. And as soon as she comes in, my character, Stephanie Canwell, speaks to the audience. She's very successful in business. She's got a lingerie label. And she starts talking to the audience about her marriage. That there's a few little moments in her marriage that have been a bit tricky. Mainly the reason being that her husband, Paul, wants her to slow down with her work.
It's the other side of the Shirley Valentine coin, isn't it, really?
Switched it. But I wanted to tackle the idea of, can a woman have everything? Because it's something that I'm often asked, you know, and people say...
What's the answer?
Well, the thing is, it comes at a price, and I think that's what develops throughout the play. And this character, when she first comes out, you're not necessarily feeling sorry for her in any way, because you sort of think, well, you've made that choice. But as the story evolves, and what actually happens is, when she's in the hotel room, she gets a message on Facebook from her first love, who gets in touch, and it gets her thinking about her past, and basically how she's become the woman she is.
How autobiographical is this? Because it sounds to me there's a lot of sort of successful woman with, you know, Betsy, you've got a daughter, you were married, now you're not. So how much of this is autobiographical, Denise Van Outen?
The character's fictional. The stories, it's not just me, it's every woman, because I've spoken to all my friends of my sort of age group and a little bit older and younger, and it seems to be a common thing with women now, with younger women, that they do tend to be very career-focused. And so, for me, it's a story that is every woman. And actually, I'm not on Facebook, so I've never had that situation happen to me with a past love, but it did happen to a friend of mine, which is where I got the idea from. And so the whole play is about temptation. It's whether or not she goes through with meeting up with this ex-love in the hotel room. So it's a bit of a... keeps you on the edge of your seat a little bit.
Michael, have you ever done a one-manner? Have you ever been on stage totally on your own?
No, I haven't.
Does the prospect scare you?
I think it would terrify me, actually. Yeah.
But you manage and you're getting on there. Because from all that huge support of the other things you've done.
Yeah, but also the nice thing is with this is because we've got music in it. So when my character's speaking to the audience, she starts reminiscing about her growing up in the 80s and the 90s. So I've got some fantastic songs in there that we've changed slightly. You know, we've got, like, Culture Club's Do You Really Want to Hurt Me, which is a great song, but when you strip it down and you just have it with strings, the lyrics mean so much.
More,
yeah, so there's great music. It's funny, it makes you laugh, it makes you cry.
On a practical note, how the dickens do you remember? Do you ever get to a point and think, crumbs, where do I go now?
With words?
Yes, with words. During the actual...
words?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I know it so well that that hasn't yet happened, thank God. But it's... Yeah, I think I could probably get myself out of it. I guess it may be from doing presenting and having experience like you of speaking to an audience.
And they don't know what the script is, so you can kind of add a
exactly. You can kind of just... But you try not to, because there are lighting cues, sound cues that are triggered from, you know, my dialogue.
Now, as if this weren't enough, you're planning something else with a couple of mates, I gather, with Kimberly Walsh and Cara Toynton. What's all this about? The Strictly Birds, as it were.
Yeah, have we got any Strictly fans in?
Well,
we all love doing Strictly Come Dancing. We've become really close friends. Kimberly Walsh was in the final with me, and the previous year, Cara Toynton, she won Strictly. So we all sat down together and we were like, we missed the dancing, because it's such a nice feeling for any of you who've ever danced, partner dancing, ballroom or Latin. It's lovely. And we miss it. And we were like, what can we do? Because we've got itchy feet. And so we've decided to dust off our dancing shoes, and we're going to put together a big show, a spectacular show with singing and dancing, because the three of us sing as well. So we're going to take it to theatres. And...
You were all three really born to be in musicals, weren't you? That's the truth of the matter.
Yeah, well, we are. The three of us have all been leading ladies in the West End, so we just thought, well, why not put this together? And because we're such great mates. And for me, it'd be great, because I haven't been on the road on my own doing a one-woman play. It'd be nice to go back to my hotel room with my two friends.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. You're touring this, and that means you're not only on stage on your own, but you've not got a great gang of mates around you.
I know, I hadn't thought that part out when I go back to the hotel room. But, you know, it's been actually nice as much as I read, and then, obviously, sometimes on my tour, my daughter comes with me, Betsy, and she keeps me busy,
Yeah.
So...
How old is she now?
She's coming up to 4 in May.
Yeah,
she's so bossy.
There. Is she?
Don't know where she gets it from, Alan.
I can't for a moment imagine some girl I used to know, currently touring the UK, you'll spot it somewhere near you, go and see it. My thanks for now to Denise Van Outen.
Thank you. Thank you so much.